Hi and welcome to the market alert for today, which is Wednesday the 8th of June. So we're seeing gold spike to 9-year highs as bonds bid and stocks skid. So gold heading back to the all-time highs. I'm not going to cover that today. I'll get in that tomorrow, and why I hold a lot of silver spread bet positions as well. Today though, what I want to do is to bring you up to speed. If you log into the website, come down to the tutorials part here on the left, and then left click on this and scroll down. You will find a set of new tutorials. I've had a lot of requests about the MDI volume bars, how I use these, how I interpret what's going on in the market with regards to these, and therefore I've recorded 6 videos. As you'll see, there's an introductory video that covers the bars and how I actually got into this. We're going back 25 plus years, and then the cycle, the price and volume cycle relationship, professional buying bars, how they're interpreted in the market, potential weakness bars, professional selling bars, and then potential strength bars as we complete the cycle. So there's a lot of information in here, and in today's market alert I will go through a few of these as well, but like I say, go and have a look at these. I'm going to add a lot more videos in the advanced section as well about this as well. This is just the first 6, and there will be a lot more with regards to this, how you can use multiple time frames to actually squeeze more out of the trade and actually get into a potential reversal as well. Okay, let's have a look at yesterday. We'll start off with the open. We can see prices moved higher initially. They were met with huge selling as they were hammered back down to the 5-bar moving average, and then we had the selling coming into the market there, which you can see. It's all going to make a lot of sense when you've seen the other videos, but basically red bar filled is selling coming into the market, and then it's straight down to the BRN, where we can see that we had support with green buying by the pros at this level. But I'm not going to go through every single buy. I'm going to move fast through this so that you can see the thought process. Now, in yesterday morning's market alert, I spoke about the low and the 5-bar moving average, if you recall, in the daily chart. And this is why I like to use multiple time frames. So again, I'm just going to fast forward through all of this, and you will see in a moment as prices start to get some support. It's always very difficult to scroll through these. I'm actually looking at the daily chart. The comments that I'd made, I was implementing myself, going to have a look, see if we're in an area where the market is likely to find support. And given the short position, and also something very basic here, prices are starting to trade sideways. We're at the previous day's low. They don't like to break the previous day's low. So this is an area where you want to consider taking the profits, and you'll see there that that was the case. So they did manage to break to the downside and then bring the market back to the low for the second trade. Now this trade is interesting because it just wouldn't get going. It's what I call no news Tuesday trade, which I forgot to mention yesterday morning because it's something that happens on a Tuesday. It can be a one trade wonder, and then prices, as you see, they're filled and they're making no progress. At this point, I'm watching the average lines. I'm watching the low as well, just to see if the market will actually hold at this level. Prices are brought back, and the 5-bar moving average is now caught up, but it's not making any progress. If the trade isn't making any progress, isn't going to break to the upside. I've noticed the volumes dropping off as well. There's no participation here, which is not what I want, but you can't have everything. And then we see prices coming back there and trading sideways, not making any progress at all. It's actually making lower highs as well, which is always another clue as well that there is weakness around. So prices then put in a sell signal, and typical Tuesday, we see the market reverse and come straight back and take the trade out. Great. But if it isn't going down, then surely it must be moving to the upside. And there you'll see the S1 is now in the way of this trade, and also the price bars to the left where the market failed last time. So once again, we see some potential weakness. This will make sense when you've been through the other videos. We can see that the pros aren't happy either, and there's a bit of selling there. In order to move higher, we've got to drive through this level if we're going to make any progress. So prices again coming back. They're still above the 5-bar moving average at the moment, down to the 20-bar moving average. As long as they bounce off that, I'm happy. And then you'll see prices starting to move to the upside there. Now, interesting bar here. You can see massive volume compared to the previous bar. So at this point, I'm alerted that we still have some weakness in this market. And the only way we're going to move to the upside is to drive prices through this level. So the key here is to make sure that prices are going to try and move to the upside. But they're looking very weak, especially with this selling that's come into the market just here. So now we have further selling by the pros as well. We can see there's another increase. We're not making any progress. There's profits being taken off the table at this level. And there we see prices coming back. And this is an interesting price bar here as well. When you get used to the nuances of this, watch this bar here. Notice the volume already. And we're at the low. This is where there's a support area. So watch the volume increase very, very quickly in this bar, and it's greater than the previous bar, and prices have come off the lows as well, closed off the lows with greater volume. So it's these small subtle things that we spot, and this is why the market's starting to move to the upside. And again, I'm going to fast forward through here, and then we get a potential buy signal again. This time we want to see the market drive higher. That's what we're looking for at this stage. If we're going to get back in again, we've got the selling that we saw here that needs to be taken out, and we also need to take out the psychological level as well, the blue line, the BRN, big round numbers. So the market starts to move, and then we drive through. Now watch what happens in this bar. We know that we have selling over here, and we've also got the psychological level as well. And the market's gone quiet, and just watch the volume. This is the crucial bit about this. You can see now that as they move the market higher, they sell straight into it. And it's at this point that you should be thinking, well, hang on a minute, we're not closing above the BRN here. We've got some selling around. Do I need to offload this position, or worst case scenario, move the stop to break even? And you'll see now as prices start to come back out of the trade, and then you'll see price bars turn to red. We don't get a signal because it doesn't meet the criteria, but we have got that weakness in the market. We know we've got weakness because we can see it here. It's already given that trigger to actually show us that there is some selling in the market. So prices then move lower, and I'm going to fast forward all the way through this. You'll see prices managing to get through the low. If you break the low, then there's a good chance you will break the psychological level there, the BRN, and then prices move low, and then you get the selling. And then once you've had selling, you will get profit taking coming into the market by the short covering. This is traders that have actually been short. They buy back, and that's where you get the clue to see this sort of activity. Prices then trade down to the other BRN, and then we just trade all the way through at these levels. And again, you can see them testing here. Again, it's all described in the video tutorials. And then prices trade sideways for the rest of the morning there. And then in the afternoon, the market started off moved lower, Again, you see the short covering coming into the market, and then this allows the market to be brought back. Just focusing on signals in this market alert. I will do other videos for you on how to actually preempt the trade, as it were, and get in sooner and take a lot more out of the trade. So here you can see that we had the short, and prices started to come back there. Again, they've come off the lows in this bar. You can see this here. So we need to actually get down to the 200 bar moving average if we're going to see any move to the downside. But watch this level, because you can see here they brought the market back above the 200 bar moving average, the most powerful moving average in my opinion. So prices are sideways. They're still closing below the 5 bar moving average, and then they make their way down to the 200 bar. And guess what? So we see the pros starting to take money at this level, because as you are short the market, you have to buy back the contract. And I keep repeating this, but it's important. And you'll see now prices moving down to the 200 bar moving average. And if you get a close back above this powerful magnet of a moving average, then you want to consider locking in profits, taking profits as well. So you can see now prices are drifting lower. The big boys have already had a chunk out of this, and you will see prices then starting to make their way back as they close above the 200 bar moving average. And then let's move forward. You can see how it bounced off that level, and then we had a buy signal to finish off the session there, and you can see this one being filled, and this was as torturous as the one that we had earlier in the day. You can see again coming down to the 20 bar moving average, same picture, bouncing off this with the volume increasing. You can see it there, it's increasing even though it's subtle. We've gone past the 4 o'clock stop, but it doesn't matter. If you're actually long the trade or in a trade, then you can still manage it. The spread doesn't change till 4:30. Now we get a bit of weakness coming back in this market. So here you can see this, and it's at this point they're currently 5 or 6 points down with the spread. We're looking for support to remain in the BRN there and to trade up towards the scalp. And again, I'm going to fast forward through this because you'll see the market holding, and then eventually it blasts through with some new professional buying. That's what we want to see. The big green bars drive through resistance to the left, and then we're looking towards this area here, where we're going to have some other resistance as well. And a good idea to take your money at this level if prices trade to it, because of the widening of the spread at 4:30, and you don't want to be here all evening. So prices, after driving higher, now sit at towards the entry point, but price is still closing above the 5 bar moving average, and the trade up to the area that I was just talking about there. And there you go, and that's what you want to do, is to take the money at this level. So you'll see prices following then started to move to the downside and come back, which there you go. Okay, so that's a quick review of the trades. Like I say, there's lots of information in here for you, and like I said earlier, I will do more videos on these, and I will show you how you can actually use different time frames in order to project where prices will stop, where you can actually enter a lot sooner, and also squeeze more out of the trade. You don't need any of this. You can just trade off the signals, but I've had so many requests about it and interpreting these bars. And if you can and just spend a bit of time, it's like anything else. If you put in a bit of effort, then the rewards are massive, because you can actually start to predict where prices will actually move based upon what you're seeing in the market. And again, it's common sense and logic that is what all the volume is about, combined with all of the other things, of course, pivot points, the BRNs and moving averages, etc. And then you tie all of this in together, and you have a really good picture. of where things are likely to trade to. Just a quick look at where we are in the current picture, and you will see that prices are looking fairly weakish overnight. We're currently below the 200 bar moving average and have moved down to the previous day's low, and again you can see immediately that we've got buying down at this level, where the shorts have taken profits the same over here, and you can use this, as I said before, to your advantage to preempt what is likely going to happen. Daily charts, let's have a look. We've got weakness here. We're below the 5 bar moving average now. We've already got our fibs drawn in, and I'll be using these to get an indication. If we have a big selling day, then I'll be watching the 20 bar moving average in the daily as well, and take note of where that's currently trading. There's no news to talk about today. There's the EU economic forecast, and there's the crude oil inventories, which shouldn't really have much of an impact there. So no news again, so it does make it a bit more frustrating at the open when there is any sort of no direction. But at the moment we're looking weakish, as it were. We're just hitting the 7 a.m. Open there, and you can see prices bouncing off here at the moment. Okay, it's a long one, apologies, but a lot of information in there. Like I say, check out the videos, and again, as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next